Let me tell you. Let's get this started. So listen, I'm gonna put 5 minutes on the clock. And first up, we have the UFC 258 results. And listen, hey, it wasn't a bad night of fights.
It wasn't, man. It wasn't, man. It wasn't a bad night of fights at all. You can go over some of the highlights, Sean. Go over some of the highlights, man. Some of the highlights that you felt performed well. Some of the things that you didn't like, things like that. Just go through a little highlight reel of what the 258 had to offer for us. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so look, first off, when Jillian Robertson she felt sick at like 4 a.m. or something, she couldn't fight. So that kind of ruined the prelims.
That really sucked.
Really ruined the prelims. But you get to the main card and you had some good fights. And then the one fight on the prelims, who was it? Anthony Hernandez submitted the ADC champ.
Surprise.
Rodolfo Vieira.
Yeah.
Man, he was a big underdog too. So that was cool. That was cool. On the main card, mainly the top 3 fights, Kevin Gastelum got back in the win column. He didn't really do anything that's like, oh yeah, he needs another title shot. But he did establish himself as like, yo, if you're not elite unless you can go through me. You know,
it felt like he outskilled him.
He did.
He had a
knew
lot
more
tricks in the bag than his opponent, and he actually portrayed those tricks during that fight, and he got the win because he knew more.
Now, one thing that I can say about Kevin Gastelum is, so at this point, you got back into the win column. It's been a while. Maybe you should try and make 170 again. You know?
Hey.
That might
he looks big though for 185.
He's big, but he's been maintaining his weight for 185, and he took it to the distance with the champ now. So, but it's going to be a long road for him to get back to it. And, you know, he's looking to step in short notice with the Whitaker and Paulo Costa fight, all this, that, and the other. But hey, main event, he's cleared out the division. You could jump in and just be a immediately title contender. You know?
Sure.
And then you got the co-main event. Alexa Grasso put it on a clinic for 2 rounds.
For 2 rounds. That last round,
Ooh,
my girl was throwing
a little shaky.
She was throwing them haymakers out there, boy.
But listen, this is what kills me about this. So you got Macy Barber, who, I get it. You know, do your thing. You know, hype yourself up. I like it. You know, you hype yourself up, you got to back yourself up. But when it comes down to it, you can see in the Kamaru Usman Gilbert Burns fight, you can see the difference between what a champion is and what a champion does, and the Macy Barber Alexa Grasso fight. So Macy Barber goes out there. Only reason why I say this is because she's like, I'm going to be the youngest champion in the UFC. I'm going to beat John Jones. I'm gonna beat her. Then I'm gonna beat JoJo Calderwood, and then I'm gonna beat Valentina Shevchenko. Okay. All right. But the ability that Kamaru Usman showed to adapt and his smarts, you didn't see that in the Macy Barber fight, where she was like, hey, this isn't working. The whole round goes by. Next round, hey, this isn't working. Whole round goes by. And they have to look at her and be like, listen, you losing this fight. You better do something. And then she goes out there and she's like, all right, maybe I'll blitz her and overwhelm her and do all of this. And it totally worked. To which you go, dang, if only you'd have did that sooner.
Yeah.
You know? And then you get to the main event. You get to Kamaru Usman, who catches the mollywop in the first round.
Oh,
Man,
yeah,
he had. I was like, oh, it's about to be over. I literally thought it was over.
It looked like the weight cut for Kamaru Usman hit him a little harder.
Maybe.
It looks like he was a little sluggish.
Maybe.
A little slower whenever the fight started. His head movement wasn't as good as it is or it was in the past.
Uh-huh.
It felt like he wasn't moving his head out of the way from the punches. But skillfully, he looked like he learned a lot, especially with his jab.
Yeah.
And his jab had a lot of
thump.
Boy, I have never seen a jab that knocks someone's head back just like that jab that Usman hit Burns with last night. And that jab was nasty.
And on top of that, I feel like Gilbert Burns could have won this fight if he would have just did a technical stand up.
Yeah.
So when he fell and hit his butt, and he knew like, hey, if you come down here, I'm gonna give you the work. So that was a non-championship thought process right then. And he allowed he was like, yo, I'm just gonna grab your feet and like kick your leg. And then every time Herb Dean was about to kind of, all right, well, I'm gonna punch you in the stomach, get back up. And I'm gonna kick you in your leg. But it gave him time to sort of get his wits about him. And he's like, okay, cobwebs cleared. And he went, whatever I was doing in that first minute, I don't need to do
I'm
that.
not doing it again.
I don't need to do that. And he was like, all right, let me get to the bases. Let me get behind the jab. Stop. Ooh, that popped his head back. I like that. And he started doing.
He jabbed him like 37 times in a row.
But here's the thing, though. So he fights out of both stance. So whenever he was switching to that southpaw, it was a power jab is what he was throwing. But to just be able to throw that effectively is just crazy. Kamaru Usman, he might mess around and find himself on the short list of is he the greatest of all time?
Now let me talk about Kamaru Usman right now. I got a problem with Kamaru Usman. I don't have a problem with him being a skillful individual that overpowers his opponents to the point where he performs or outperforms them and gets the W. In the ring or in the cage, he is the most or one of the most dominant individuals that I have ever seen perform. The problem I have with Kamaru Usman is this. I feel like his out of the cage antics is fake. And I feel like he's trying to put on a show that he doesn't necessarily have to put on. And I feel like he brings in haters or hate where there's no hate. And I understand a Mike Tyson mindset, but Mike Tyson is crazy. And you can understand why Mike Tyson is the way he is. We can understand why Michael Jordan was the way he is. Michael Jordan is crazy. Kamaru Usman is a nice man or a nice person playing a crazy dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just don't like it. He's an all-around good, if not great fighter, who's going to be one of the, if not the best fighter that we have seen in the UFC, especially with his stand-up game. And his takedown to fist is extremely.
It's 100%.
No one can take him down at this point.
It's 100%.
And I don't feel like anybody's going to beat him until he gets too old to fight. And I feel like he's going to bow out before he even gets there because he's a smart dude. He is a smart dude. He is a nice dude that's trying to play a bad guy. And I hate that.
Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. When you say that, you have to keep in mind that, like, all the other guys are fake, too. But I think what you're trying to say is he's unbelievably fake.
Exactly.
Because, like, Chael Sonnen isn't the way you think it is, you know.
No.
But whenever he goes into that mode, I'm like, oh, he's in that mode. I can get behind that. You know, when Kamaru goes into that mode, it's like switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off, switch on. Put some respect on my name. Oh, is he good? You good, bro? Hey, man, come here, man. Give me a hug. Put some respect on my name. Yeah, so that's kind of how it went.
Respect on your name.
But it was not even that. It was just he went to like, oh, I'm stomping around. Put some respect on my name. Is he good? You good? Give me a hug, bro. That cool. Everything cool. Cope said, put some respect on my name. And it's like, all right, are you hype? Are you chilling? Which one we doing? I can see how you see that.
Yeah,
you know?
and I understand. And a lot of people do it. Like Kobe Covington does it. Conor McGregor even does it too.
But when Conor shuts it off, it's off.
Yes.
When Conor turns it on, it's on. But when he shuts it off, it's off. It's never like on off on off. So I can see it.
He has respect for Habib, but he knew that he had to portray or put himself in a way where he had to be disrespectful in order to sell pay-per-views, in order for him to get paid. And I understand why he's doing what he's doing, and he grabs that feeling inside people, or that emotion inside people, in order to sell the fight.
Yeah.
Usman does not grab emotion, and he does not sell fights for me at all. That's just all I'm saying. And we're gonna get into this a little bit later. When he called out Jorge, it seemed like it had ulterior motives to it, other than the fact that Jorge was talking junk about him, or talking, putting his name in his mouth and not having any respect on him.
We'll talk about it.